Stage 3 of the New Zealand Cycle Classic takes the riders to the wine capital of the Wairarapa, Martinborough. 126 kilometres is the distance. On paper, it looks like a fairly straightforward stage. Joel, the tour's been going pretty well so far for you. You've got the sprint leaders jersey, 3 sprints today. What's your plan?
The plan will be to try and get in that EB and mop up as many points along the road as we can, and hopefully hold on for something in the sprint at the finish line. So I think, yeah, like I said, I think it'll come down to a bunchy, but myself will be trying to get up the road and take as many of those 3 sprint points as I possibly can.
Is it a little bit easier to get the sprint points from a small break than trying to contest them from the whole peloton?
Depends if anyone in the peloton wants to go for them. I mean, like, you can pop out with 200 to go and, you know, no one follows your wheel and you get the points quite easily. In a breakaway, like, you know, unless it's like already agreed upon, you know, you can have guys sprinting for, you know, 500 metres out or something like that, so it can make it a little bit harder. So it just depends on the makeup of the break, I suppose, and then, you know, how the peloton's feeling at that point in time, whether anyone that's close by. I think I've only got like a 1 or 2 point lead, so, you know, it might be tightly contested because there's a fair few points up for grabs today.
Dead right, there's a fair few points up for grabs on stage 3 of the New Zealand Cycle Classic. Masterton through to Martinborough. Beautiful racing roads. They turn into Martinborough. They go on to a circuit 9 times around an approximately 7 kilometre circuit. As Joel said, 3 sprints up for grabs as they race around the vineyards. The temperature today, nice and warm, another hot day in the Wairarapa. A little bit of wind as we see the Fagan Motors team assemble at the front as we go through the neutralised section. Fagan Motors, a big supporter of the New Zealand Cycle Classic throughout the years. Once again supplying the cars to the race, the Ford and Mazda vehicles. And there's one right there. That is a race director, George Sandoval, bringing the flag in. We're underway. 126 kilometres, and as always, action right from the start. Not a lot of wind today, so it could take quite a while for the break to get established. Team Friesel Racing, we're quite keen to get things going early. All the teams are very alert. They know it's a day potentially for the sprinters and a good day for the breakaway to get away. JLT Condor, they won here last year. They know the road, they know the finish well, so they will be looking to put their riders into a good position. Others, they'll want to get in the breakaway. It may be exposure for the sponsors, and maybe to try and win a stage from the breakaway. Or as we heard Joel say, for GPM, get in the break, try and win some points, and hang on to that sprint jersey. Back onto the circuit we used yesterday, the Gladstone circuit, as they head out across from Masterton towards Martinborough. Aidan McCormick, he lies 2nd overall. Angus Lyons, Joel Yates, Michael Potter, also riders to keep an eye on throughout the day. The race at this stage is wide open as teams send riders up and down, attacking off the front. Another little group just having a go. You can see Alex Ray there in the black, trying to get into something. Fagan Motors, Sign Factory riders as well. The Australian Cycling Academy, had a good tour so far. Trying to get something going. Taylor Gunman looks over his shoulder. He's in the black New Zealand shirt with the white sunglasses on, a winner of this race in past years. There's Taylor Gunman, sneaking off the front a little bit. Quite often on the stage, you'll see the trees blowing on an angle and the peloton spread right out. That's Joel Yates, member of the Vantage New Zealand Road Cycling Team. So the New Zealand Cycling Team would be happy if he went away on the break today. They've got Hayden McCormick lying 2nd on the general classification. They've got Michael Torkler sitting there waiting. And he will wait all day as he thinks about getting to the top of Admiral's Hill first and trying to repeat a victory in this tour. King of the Mountains points going to the Mobius Bridge Lane team. Angus Lyons picked up the points, and they've decided to keep it going over the climb down the other side. So they've opened up a little bit of a gap, the 3 riders. Now, is anyone going to react from the peloton? Joe Cooper has a look over his shoulder. JLT Condor. Riders trying to get across. Team Friesel trying to set something up, seeing if they can get a rider across into the break. Angus Lyons. Michael Potter just sits on the front. So finally, they've got away. The peloton have let 3 riders get away, so they'll be happy off the number, and 1 rider has got across. So that rider, Keys Diveston for Freezer Racing's got into the move. So 4 riders, very handy to have 4 riders. If they all work well together, this break could get out to a fairly handy lead. Lyons, a very dangerous rider as well and a good climber. So if he could get away on a break today and sneak a few minutes, even a few seconds at the end, that could come in handy tomorrow, but it all depends on how much energy you burn. Oliver's Real Food Racing, the team, Nicholas White, Clinton Edwards, Jack Sutton, Carson Chapman, Benjamin Andrews looking after the yellow jersey of Nick Redditch, doing what they have to do, sit on the front, keep a steady tempo. They will ride like that all day, or for the majority of the day if they need to not let the break get too far away. They want to keep it close enough that later in the stage the sprinters teams will assist with the chase, but right now the whole peloton looks to Oliver's Real Food Racing to control the gap, control the race. Lyons leads them around the corner. Oliver's, Vantage Windows and Doors, New Zealand national team, they line up behind them, looking after Hayden McCormick. James Oram, another rider who's more than capable of getting up Admiral's Hill tomorrow. So plenty of cards to play for a lot of the teams. Cyril Terry just tapping out a nice tempo on the front. The riders all going through, doing a good turn of pace, giving each other a bit of a breather.
Good tap on the puncher, was it?
Angus Lyons just going back off the break after 2 punches. He punctured front and back wheel, hitting something on the road, 2 flats. So as he's just making his way back to the peloton, so we leave for 3 riders out in front. Keys Diveston from Freezers, Cyril Terry and Michael Potter, the 3. A long way to go on the stage, 126 kilometres. Still under the guidance of Oliver's Real Food Racing, the peloton. Jack Sutton just sitting there, tapping out a nice steady tempo. Getting a little bit of help from time to time, but not really. Most riders pretty happy just to leave Oliver's on the front. The pecking order of the general classification. Luke Mudgway's just tucked onto the back of the New Zealand national team. Second on the stage yesterday on the bright yellow bike. We'll be hoping to go one better today. Martinborough, beautiful place to watch. Michael Potter goes through, picking up the first sprint points in the town. They're onto the circuit. 9 laps of this, just over 7 kilometre circuit. The break, the 3 riders working well together. Diveston, Freezer Racer, doing his turn on the front. They got the hard word actually from Bruce Biddle over in Italy after yesterday, not being in the break, not chasing it down, to get in it today. They've certainly done that. Mobius Bridge Lane going through. Are so unlucky, Angus Lyons puncturing. As always, a nice crowd. The Vineyards. Beautiful piece of racing. roads, scenery. The riders love it. I think the town really enjoy it as well. The support we get from the locals is absolutely outstanding. And Keys, he's just gone a little bit wide on the corner. Has held it upright. Lucky it wasn't some wind and met the fence. It could have been a little bit nasty. Now the peloton's going to approach the same corner. They're all indicating. Round we go. Yep, you can hear a few calls. On with the brakes, but all around safely. So the peloton about to approach Martinborough. Big crowd turned out here on a beautiful sunny day. They're going to get 7 laps to go of this beautiful circuit around the vineyards in Wairarapa. So Oliver's Real Food Racing that'll be leading them through, protecting the yellow jersey of Nick Redditch. There's Oliver's on the front. Nick Redditch sitting there comfortable in the yellow jersey. Benning, New Zealand national team, then Team Skoda Racing as they zoom through. Good support from the crowd right here in Wairarapa. A couple of riders coming around the islands. Not enough space in that little gap, so you get a nice close-up view. Yeah, there wasn't enough space in that little gap, and the riders just about took me out as they went through there. 6 laps to go for the breakaway. So it's a tight, nice little chicane. There they go, going through it again. So they're working well together. So each rider doing his turn on the front, they know what's going on behind. The peloton are leaving them out there. They're sitting at about 1.5 minutes. So the peloton, if it's around 1 to 1.5 minutes, they know they can close it down, get it out to over 2.5. It starts to get a little bit more difficult. And these riders know they've been in this position many times before, either back in the peloton chasing a breakaway. So more sprint points coming up, assigned factory sprint points. Michael Potter has been very aggressive on the stage. He's gone after all the points today. Wants to get that green jersey if he can. So he attacks from the group. Steve Lampier leading the peloton. New Zealand national team queued up behind him. Oliver's now, they can sit back a little bit. So the New Zealand national team, they'll start to pick up the pace. Luke Mudgeway, you can just see him moving up slowly onto the back. That's the man they'll be trying to look after. Taylor Gunman, Joel Yates lead through for the New Zealand team. All safely through. This time that was that little island where riders went different ways. So Joel Yates picking up the tempo. Steve Lampier as well. He rode here last year with JLT Condor. You can see putting the hand out. It just wants to keep the pace steady. They're keeping that brake in check at the moment. Tank Guy, Bike Box Riders. Also lending a hand, Taylor Gunman, winner in 2015. Rides for the Genesis Pro cycling team in the UK. Nice shot of the vineyards. No time for the riders to stop at many of the open cellar doors. A little bit of a chat. Hayden McCormick, James Oram, Michael Torkler sitting there, trying to use as little energy as possible. The man in the red jersey, the most aggressive rider from yesterday, Jordan Kirby, the World Individual Pursuit Champion. Joe Cooper doing a turn at the front. So been along, they'll be waiting for tomorrow. They have got a very good sprinter in Anthony Guy Coppo. He just hasn't quite had the run of the green in the sprint so far. No excuse for the riders today. They've been through the finishing area. They get 8 times to look at it before they have to get it right. So Michael Potter, he picks up another sprint. He's on his own. He's going to go for it. David Hancock from Destination Wairarapa giving plenty of encouragement. So there's the breakaway about to be picked up. Potter's gone solo.
The sprinters are starting to move up.
So the team's now starting to think about getting their sprinters organised. Joel Yates, Taylor Gunman doing the work for Luke Mudgeway. Steve Lambert's looking after his own interests at the moment. Team Friesel Racing, they'll be looking after Alex Ray. And there's a move off the front. It's the red jersey, yesterday's most aggressive rider, the World Individual Pursuit Champion, Jordan Kirby. Now he is a danger this far out from the finish. If he can get away or someone can get across to him and they can work together. We saw the power of him yesterday. That man swings off. Been a long look over the shoulder. Jordan Kirby's got the gap. Now, no one's been able to get across to him. He probably wouldn't have minded a little bit of help. Coming down through the 600 metre mark the last time. So the big peloton bunched up right across the road. The teams try to get their sprinters organised. Michael Potter just going through, about to be picked up. Back into the peloton. It's been a good day for him. He's picked up enough sprint points to take over the green points jersey. Now here's a big move. He's 4 seconds down on the general classification. That's Hayden McCormick. Hayden McCormick going off the front. So this is a dangerous move for Oliver's Real Food Racing. Hayden McCormick sits 4 seconds down on the general classification. If he can get away, he's got some company as well. Who's got across with him? That'll be what'll matter if this break is going to work and stay away. Hayden McCormick making maybe an unexpected move on a stage that this really looking like it was shaping up for the bunch sprint, but McCormick taking his opportunity. Ryan Thomas is there with him. Callan O'Brien, Joel Yates. So Joel Yates, he will have to do some big turns to try and keep this going. It's Joel Yates, Callan O'Brien. Remember the Australian World Champion Teams Pursuit team. So strong riders out front. Now the peloton. Luke Mudgeway sitting there behind James Oram trying to be set up. JLT Condor starting to think about their man. Matthew Gibson, they'll want to put him into a good spot. Joe Cooper, there's the red jersey, so that break's come back now on the front. James Oram driving towards the finish. Where's Luke Mudgeway? Is he tucked onto the back of this? There he goes. Yes, the yellow bike. You can see it there, but the peloton, they're not going to let them get away. Jordan Kirby just closing it down, wants to bring it back together, thinking of his team. He'll be also Michael Vink and his team be riding tomorrow. Vink, we'll be talking about him plenty tomorrow, I'm sure. Robert Stannard in the yellow helmet, the white jersey for Team Skoda Racing getting up there. Lloyd's third overall in the general classification, 600 metres to go. JLT Condor starting to get things organised. Stannard's up there. Mudgeway, Guy Coppo, Terry Shear. 400 out. Who's going to take control of the sprint? The New Zealand national team are trying to set it up down the right-hand side for Luke Mudgeway, but he's on the wheel of JLT Condor. Terry Scher from the Swiss team. There he goes. He's gone for it now, but so's JLT Condor with Matthew Gibson. Gibson's going to get there. Orchid coming on the inside. Is he going to take it? Oh, it's tight on the line.
Who got it? It's
Matthew Gibson.
Matthew Gibson, did he get up there?
Gibson getting there. Matthew, congratulations on a fantastic sprint finish. Gee, it was tight.
Yeah, I didn't know if I'd got it or not at the finish, and I just thought I'd have to wait until the commentators had announced whether I'd got it or not. But I kind of knew I probably got it, but I didn't just wanted to make sure before I celebrated.
Tell me, the last kilometre, take me through it. What was it like? Because the whole peloton was together.
Yeah, it was a really scrappy last couple of kilometres. The team did a great job putting me in a good place to sprint with a couple of metres to go, but yeah, it was a bit tight coming into the last lap, and I didn't really know whether I was going to be able to get myself in a good position with everyone fighting to be in that spot. Not everyone can be up the front where I wanted to be, but I managed to do it in the end, which was good to pull off.
Must be pretty happy. First race of the season and a stage win.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're saying it at home in the winter, especially when it's cold in the UK, and you start your first race and you never know how you're going to go really until you turn up. But so to come back with a win's a great start to the year, and hopefully continue into the rest of the races throughout the season.
Michael, a fantastic day. The Australian Cycling Academy is having a great tour. Tell us a little bit about the team.
So the team is called the Australian Cycling Academy Ride Sunshine Coast. It's based up on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. Sponsored by the Sunshine Coast Council. So it's a new team for 2018. We've got 12 riders and a really strong squad.
Very strong, all right. Stage win. You had a blinder of a day today. You picked up the points classification, but the aggression on the stage, also the most aggressive rider. Take me through your day.
So we started, it was really chaotic for the first 40k. Like breaks were going, they'd come back, they'd go again, they'd come back. Eventually we got a break going just over the top of the KOM. And we actually had a bit of a gap just over the line at the top, so I just told the boys, let's just make the most of this, let's go. It was the biggest gap we had all race, and it was unlucky that Angus Lyons had a flat, because it would have been really good to have him here for the stage. And we chopped off all the way through to here, and I picked up all the sprint points, and then with 3.5k to go, my director, Ben Kirsten, told me to make the most of the stage and go off the front, so I got caught with a lap to go and rolled in the bunch.
That's tough, isn't it? You come into Martinborough, you see 9 to go, you're out front, you know the peloton's coming after you, 1 to go or 2 to go, you're on your own, you've gone solo. What are you thinking?
You're not thinking. Your brain's out the window, you're just trying to make the most. So you're just thinking about the next 5 minutes, you're just picking points on the road, just trying to get to that next point and then pick another point. So trying to get little bits of recovery and then go again, and yeah.
Well, congratulations on a great ride today. Really spectacular. 2 jerseys for the effort. Well deserved.
Thank you very much.
George, over 30 years of promoting the New Zealand Cycle Classic, another brilliant race in Masterton. How do you keep doing it year after year?
Well, it's a good job for us. I really enjoy doing these bike races. It's a privilege for me to have all these boys from different countries coming to New Zealand, to the Wairarapa. I got a very good support from Trust House and, Feigen Motors and a lot of the sponsors from the Wairarapa to ensure that the race goes well. I've been doing it for 31 years, and it's very rewarding at the end of the tour to see the guys go away with the satisfaction of coming to the Wairarapa, do the New Zealand Cycle Classic, and feature that in the ACV for the next few years.
Traffic, bike races are getting more and more difficult to run around the world. You seem to have amazing support from the police and the community to make it happen.
Yeah, the police for us is very good. The Ulysses Club from the Wairarapa, the motorcycle club, they do a perfect job for us, and with the safety of the riders, the traffic managing company, they know the stuff. So for us, safety of the riders is the most important thing, and also safety of the members of the community. So everything goes hands in hand. We got the support from everybody, and it's safe. So we don't have any issue with the safety of the riders here.
It's always a great event. It's growing. 31 years. How many more?
I'm not sure. 31 years, when I started doing this ride, I was going to do it for 2 or 3 years. 31 years later, I'm still here. I really enjoy it. So I think as long as I enjoy this job, I will do it.
About the winner today, Matthew Gibson, JLT Condor from Tobias Orchard, Ryan Thomas, Cameron Scott. The general classification, Nick Redditch spends another day in the yellow jersey. Hayden McCormick, Robert Stannard, Michael Vink right behind him. Tomorrow's the day. That man in yellow will really have to defend it. Nick Redditch celebrates one more day in yellow. But the day in Martinborough really belonged to JLT Condor, as they did last year. This time it was Matthew Gibson who took this honours and brings home the stage win.